Nosy Nancy's is a true crime podcast based in Austin, Texas. If you are sensitive to any of the trigger words, this is not the podcast for you. Due to its graphic nature, listener discretion is advised.
Somewhere between the sandy and again. Well, I was just pretending that it's all just a dream. A little condescending to believe in it. I'm getting the notion that I'm going all in.
We're live.
Oh my god, imagine if we did do a live show. Oh, and how much I stutter. Ugh.
Me too. I sound like a fucking idiot.
No, you don't.
I do. And then I have to sit there and I'll think about words, what words to use.
At least you're thinking. Well, hey all you nosies, I'm Alequah.
And I'm Jasmine, and welcome to a special episode.
Yes. We wanted to do a short little episode this week to kind of do a recap about the incident that happened on Lady Bird Lake earlier this month, because there's been a lot of chatter going on about it.
There has been a lot of conspiracies and theories that we're gonna recover and recap. Nancy Grace has weighed in, and Alequah and I have a difference in opinion of Nancy Grace.
Yeah, I think you're the only person in America that likes Nancy Grace.
I like her because she's... I like her because she's like the Judge Judy of true crime. She's...
Okay, you've gone too far.
What?
First of all, Judge Judy is a queen among kings, okay?
No, it's true. It's very true. You cannot get anything past that little old lady in a robe.
Okay. I'm just upset that they never got a hold of us to be a part of the Nancy Grace show. Because we have all the information.
It's true.
God.
But, Nancy Grace is not perfect. Nancy Grace is to true crime what Kathy Mitchell is to dump cakes. You know the dump cake lady?
No, but I will tell you one thing. If I'm anything, I'm a fucking dump cake.
Honestly, sure. I told Todd, I was like, she's a dump goddess. I love Kathy Mitchell. She's always dumping. She's great.
Dump goddess. Oh
she's
my God,
dump
me.
goddess.
Forget about being a trash goblin. Forget about being a weird little gremlin. I am a dump goddess.
It's true.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Same, very much. I'm always dumping.
I'm always dumping my trauma on other people. True. Is what's really happening. Okay, should we talk about the body that was found first?
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that's very interesting. When the body first came up, I know everybody was freaking out. It's gonna be a man.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
not.
the thing. It was, right. So the body was recovered on February 6th of 2024. Okay, so earlier this month, beginning of this month. And you're right. When they put out the initial report that there was a body found in Lady Bird Lake, but they weren't being able to identify it because the body had been in the water for some time, I'm assuming, so they couldn't actually identify the sex of the person.
Yeah.
And then that caused just a rash of conspiracy theories online, right?
Right.
They were like, the police, they're not telling us because blah 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 blah. They're in on it, which I'm not saying the police department isn't faulty, because it is. It's very faulty. Also, police department sucks. There's two things that happen when you're doing an investigation, as far as we can tell just from doing this podcast, is that number one, water deaths are so fucking hard to investigate.
Everything happens at an advanced rate, and then obviously Now your body's like not regulating any of its own shit anymore. So, I mean, you're gassy, you're bloating. It's just, there's a lot going on that makes it difficult to determine in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, and you're also sending a biological signal to animals in the water, and especially in Lady Bird Lake. Yeah, and they do. There's like, have you heard of hungry, hungry hippos? Well, it's hungry, hungry turtles. Okay,
I am a hungry, hungry hippo.
Me too.
I was born fat, baby.
Yeah. No, like legit, off topic, but Jasmine was like 13 pounds when she was born.
Oh, how dare you spill all my secrets. I was a full-grown woman in the womb.
Your mom gave birth to a fucking woman with a credit score of 760. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's true.
She should have just named in a fucking apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a cigarette in your lips.
Exactly.
Speaking of, Jasmine has not smoked a cigarette in 23 days.
It's true. I stopped smoking.
She did. She's doing so good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, enough about you. So here's the deal. Also, no, I'm proud of you. It's a hard habit to kick.
It is. It's bizarre. I remember we would like do our little exercise videos together, and we'd be like chain smoking the whole time.
Oh, back when our lungs were spry.
It's true.
Okay, so sorry, to get back to the thing that we're here to talk about. So not only does the body just decompose at a rapid speed, if the police cannot release the identification of the person unless the family gives them permission to do so. So like people I know, especially on the internet, are like, why are they not releasing their identity? Why are they not releasing? Because they probably cannot. Family of the victim or the deceased doesn't want that information out there. So blaming the police department on that specifically, it's not accurate. It's not really up to the police department to like determine whether or not they want to release the information.
And sometimes it also just interferes with the investigation itself. Like there may be specific things about the case that pertain to that person that have to do with the reason that they, passed away. They could be hanging out with a certain type of people or, you know what I mean? And then if you're releasing that, then the people who may be guilty of having knowledge or of committing the crime have every opportunity to then find out their, alibi or just disappear, or kill themselves and never be caught or have that victim be brought to justice. So they have their reasons.
It's just really important to kind of understand the systematic ways of the police department, even though for the record, me and Jasmine do not think the APD are all that in a bag of chips. Okay,
of course.
So we are with you guys on some of it, just not on this. Like,
a little too harsh on the unwillingness to release the information. But other than that, we agree.
Anyways, you did listen to the Nancy Grace, right?
I did, of course.
I didn't.
I had to hear her voice.
Oh, jeez.
Now, it's been a minute since I've listened to it, but somebody on there she was asking about, like, the lake.
Right.
And Nancy was asking about, like, why people can't swim in the lake or something. And the lady who was answering her, like, started listing off all these reasons. She starts talking again about, why aren't people able to swim in the lake? Is it because of all the bodies? And the lady at the end was like, yes.
That's not why people are not allowed to swim in the lake.
That's
for the record. No.
No, it's not. But actually, Regan was on the Nancy
I heard
Grace.
that Regan was on. Yeah. Good for her, because you know what? Regan has been working tirelessly to find answers for Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that we had more means to help her, and I wish that these are times when I wish that like our podcast was like more well known, because she needs somebody in her corner.
She
You know
really
what I
does.
mean?
She really does.
She really does.
She did
And, like-
explain how, like, she explained just how uncooperative she felt like the police were. How
Right.
she, would call and call and call, and they either wouldn't return her calls, or all they would say is that it's under investigation. But this is a woman who went out herself day after day to where Chris was found.
Yeah.
And tried to look for evidence and tried to find clues. I mean, she really has been she's really just been such a voice for the victims of the people found in the lake, and trying to get justice for everybody.
I think for the POC community too, because she really is bringing awareness to the way that they, that they treat people of color.
It's true.
And it's like it's not this like made up thing. Like, I've talked to her a little bit about Chris and the situation, and I just get so mad. Why is she not getting the answers that she deserves? And
Right.
like, just the way they handled him post-mortem, it's like, what the fuck? Is that even legal?
Yeah.
Like, why are they, but they did. They just completely, I don't want to say too much because, I don't know exactly the whole story, but from what I do know, like, yeah, just completely grossly mishandled.
No. It's so frustrating, because I mean, that's what all these people just want, answers about what happened. Like, what happened?
Right.
What's being done to find out who did this? And it is extremely frustrating, because these family members know, their loved one wouldn't just walk off of their own accord and end up in the lake.
No, they're being gaslit.
Yeah.
The police department, they're gaslighting these people.
Exactly.
They're they're like, no, they drowned. No, that was, no, like, something is not right. In Christopher Clark's case, I wish we knew more information on Moga Degale, the one who was found after Chris Clark, because I would love to compare the two of them as far as like how they handled Moga, how his case like unfolded, but because I have a sneaking suspicion that they were pretty similar as far as
I would think so.
So I wish we could find more information on him. I mean, maybe there is, we can like touch back on later, but the woman that they found in the lake, she has not been publicly identified, although somebody said that they were her family and they unofficially stated her name. I can't confirm that this is the actual identity of the person, because there's no, publicly there's no confirmation on that. But what I do want to talk about real quick is I want to talk about the guy that they thought was the person in the lake at first.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but maybe that's for the best, because I'm not sure he wants his identity out there anyways. But there was a young man who went missing, I think, the day before or 2 days before they had got the call that there was somebody in the lake. Mm-hmm. He was in town, I think like a business trip with his like coworkers, and they went downtown. He got separated from his group, and they couldn't find him. So they ended up finding him the day after they released the information of the person being found in the lake, and he was alive. He was in the hospital because he got drugged and he got robbed.
Wow.
So they actually had to resuscitate him. He wasn't breathing. Yeah. He could have died. And he definitely was drugged. We've always said this from season 1, that there is a drugging problem in Austin. It's not just Austin, it's everywhere, right? They recently caught a woman who was drugging men downtown.
Really? Really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they caught her, but they put a picture on like Crime Stoppers or something like that, you know, something similar to that, where if you have any information about her, she is known to be, you know, drugging men downtown and like robbing them. Do I think it's the person that's like killing people and putting them in the lake? Or no, I don't think she's connected, because she's robbing them. Right. And if you remember in season 1, a lot of these guys
had their belongings.
Robbed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Had their belongings on them.
Julio Santos III, he didn't have his wallet, but he'd left it at the bar.
Yeah, at the bar. Yeah.
Right.
He left all of his personal effects at the bar with his friends because he was going to come right back.
Right. Right. So the guys that were found in Lady Bird Lake previously, you know, starting from 2010, these guys were not, they had all their belongings. They were not robbed. So this is not going to be connected to the woman who was found drugging men downtown, or the guy, I believe, that was found in the hospital, because they also, you know, beat them up and left them on the street.
You know, they have that like little scrunchie that you unfold it, and it's like a little drink cap to like make sure that nobody can put shit in your drink when you're like walking by carrying it around.
Oh, cute.
And then they have like, they have that color changing like nail polish.
Yeah.
So that you can like swirl your finger around, and if it's drugged, then your polish will change color. But they don't have any of those for men.
But they also have those like drink condoms or whatever, where they like, it's like the scrunchy thing, but it's not a scrunchie, but you just put, you know, this thing over your drink. Yeah. And that's supposed to help stop somebody from like putting something. But I mean, how can you like, but if it's the bartenders that's doing it, like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's always the case, but I mean, there's definitely been cases of bartenders that are drugging people, you know. So how do you stop that? You know, I just show them a little cleave and wink at them, you know, and I say, hey, you don't have to drug me, baby.
I'm very willing.
So nobody drugs me. They're just like, whatever. they're like, please just get out of my bar. I'm like, oh no, I'm so alone in the corner, just waiting.
They're like, you've already been overserved.
They're like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Please leave. Is there anything else we wanted to cover for this episode? Did we cover everything?
I do want to say that one of the main premises of the Nancy Grace coverage is the fact that everybody finds it weird that the police are not looking for... I know that we said that it's, you know, the smiley face killer crime ring.
Right.
But Nancy Grace and a lot of the people who she talked to said that it is very weird that the police just simply, after having that many people found in the same, you know, body of water, or having that many people found under the same type of circumstances, that they're not looking into a serial killer or a crime ring or anything like that. And that's including Dennis Franks, the former FBI supervisory special agent and president of Investigative Security Global Solutions.
Oh.
Even he was like, yeah, it would at least be wise for them to start looking into something like that.
The problem is that in all these cities, because it's not just Austin, like it's all of them. It's Chicago, it's Boston, it's New York.
Right.
Like that was the issue that Detective Gannon and Anthony Duarte, that was the issue that they kept running into, because it starts at the bottom, right? So it starts with the coroner. The coroner is like, they go there and the coroner's job is to be like, this needs to be investigated or this doesn't need to be investigated. And if the coroner says this doesn't need to be investigated, then that's it. That's where it stops.
Right.
Now, if the coroner was like, this needs to be investigated, then they'll send the body to the medical examiner. Now, the problem with drownings is that the medical examiner can't really get a lot of information from the body itself because of the things that we've listed before, the bacterium, the wildlife, the rate at which the body decomposes. And also, like, we don't have the budget, specifically in Austin, we don't have the budget or the appropriate amount of medical examiners to think of a proper investigation.
Yeah. No,
like,
I agree.
because in one of the episodes we talked about in season 1, but Detective Gannon, they reopened a case. I think it was the Lucas Holman, or I think that was his name.
Yeah.
But there is a special machine that you can use to retrieve evidence from specifically a body being pulled from the water. Does Austin have that? I don't know. I don't think so. It's a relatively new way of investigating a water death, so I'm not sure that Austin has that equipment yet. The problem with the FBI and stuff is they're not going by anything other than what the paper trail says. Yeah. Right? So if all these medical examiners are saying, like, no, there's no foul play, then the FBI is going to be like, there's no reason to investigate. So it's so hard to actually get anybody involved in these drownings because on paper they're just accidents. And it's very convenient that these are all happening, and this is the other thing. It's convenient that these are all happening in towns, in college towns, where the river or the lake is downtown, and it's an easy access to somebody who has been drinking. These are all happening in towns where there's lakes or rivers running through a downtown area where there's a lot of bars and there's a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of tourists, a lot of college kids.
Yeah, that's why nobody's investigating these. And it's not just Austin, it's in Boston, it's in Chicago too. You know, they're not getting any help either because it's the same thing. You know, it's a perfect crime. Like, nobody's questioning it.
And you're absolutely right, because there's so little that they really can
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until they can catch somebody red-handed, you know, throwing a person into the lake, then there's nothing they can do. And we talked about that too. You brought it up a lot, which was great, because I don't think people are aware of this, but the cameras downtown are fucking false. They don't even fucking work.
They're not recording anything.
No, they're not recording anything.
They don't work.
That was pretty remarkable too. When we did the guys in other cities, how little footage there was of any of these guys in a fucking populated area. Why?
And it's really it's shitty and it's sad, because the whole I remember, because of the crime, when they started putting up all of the cameras in downtown Austin, they were like, oh yeah, so that you can feel safe. Well, that's all it is just a feeling, because they're not keeping you safe. Like, if something should happen to you, there's not going to be any sort of footage of it, which is really a shame, because they have entire shows based off of
footage,
trying to find missing people, or how missing people were found, that were based off of security camera footage and police being able to piece those together.
But all those footages, all the footage that you see in those shows, those are all private establishments.
Yeah.
Like Target or Walmart or you know what I mean, or gas stations. They're all privately owned. There are no city owned places that have cameras that work.
Right.
What's up with fucking that, man? That's a big issue.
Yeah, what is the taxpayers' money going towards if it's not? If money's been allocated for that, then what's it really being used for?
Don't get me started. Don't even. I'm not gonna get political. Don't get me started. I fucking cannot. I have so many bones to pick with the city of Austin, Texas. God, I'm so mad at them. Okay, like Tierra Strand. There should have been so many public cameras that caught that whole incident, and there just wasn't.
But
and
of course
that's
not.
Fucked up.
Anything that was caught on cell phone cameras.
Yes. Yeah.
And was uploaded to YouTube.
Ugh.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's
That
the
is
whole reason that the
disgusting.
public even was able to see the footage.
I've just had it. I've had it with Austin. I've had it with, and you know what? I've had it with America. You know what? I've had it with this fucking planet. Okay? I've had it. I'm over it. I'm about to go to Mars. Fuck it.
I mean, I'm bad with money too. If the city of Austin's just bad with money, just like
Let us
admit
know.
it. Like,
yeah, girl.
I'll let people know real quick. Like, I'm bad with money.
Yep.
Don't trust me with money. I have a hard time saying no.
Speaking of money and not being able to say no, we actually have a Patreon now.
And you can't say no to joining. It's $5.
To joining it. If you do want to join our Patreon, we would really appreciate it. But because we really are trying to, like, if we had more money to put towards the podcast, I think we'd be able to get better equipment for sure. But also, I think we'd be able to advertise more and get more people aware of what's happening in Austin as far as like the missing people, the drownings, the cold cases, the shitty things the Austin Police Department does. Like, we really need lawyers if we're going to be talking this much shit about Austin Police Department. So, like, you know, $5.
Any little bit helps. And $5 gets you some cool stuff. What do they get?
Yeah, some merch. Right now, as far as like merch goes, you're going to get a sticker, a really badass sticker. And then
They are very cute. Alequah hasn't sent me mine
cute.
yet, but I guess I have to pay the $5.
No, I'll send you some. I just keep forgetting. But you'll get a sticker that says Nosy Nancy's Podcast, and it's not our like logo, but it's our picture on the group. I think it's that picture. So that's pretty cute.
It's very cute, and you want it. $5.
And you'll also get a pair of Groucho Marx glasses with the nose and the mustache, so you can also be nosy. So that's cute, right?
That's very cute. We love the
Super
nose.
Cute. We love the nose. And we haven't done this yet, but we are gonna probably be doing like t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. And I think if we can get the t-shirts like cheap enough, I'm not opposed to sending people a t-shirt. Is that like...
That's $20.
That's your $20 a month tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to figure that shit out. I think this is all we really needed to talk about. Did you have anything else?
That's all that I have to discuss.
Me too. I think so.
I think so.
But yeah, so next week we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled program. So yeah.
Look forward to it.
For that.
Stay tuned.
If you like our podcast, you can join our Facebook group.
It's Nosy Nancy's Podcast.
And also our Facebook page.
It's also Nosy Nancy's Podcast.
Also our Instagram.
It's Nosy Nancy's.
And our Patreon.
It's Nosy Nancy's.
Also, if you do, this is also what I want to discuss with you. We'll just do it right now in front of everybody.
Okay.
When somebody does want to like join our Patreon, we will give you also a shout out. So.
Oh, this is news to me, but I think it's cool.
I think it'd be cute. So we'll like give you a shout out. we'll basically, we'll give you a little merch and we'll basically owe you for the rest of our lives. So join our Patreon. It's only $5 a month. That's really only, that's what, $65 a year?
Yeah, if you're donating to any starving children or anything like that, the little coins, you're rounding up your change at Taco Bell to get those kids to college.
Pretend like we are the starving children.
Yeah. We pretty much are.
We pretty much are. Yeah. So join our Patreon. And also our website is coming. Jasmine's still working on it, but it's almost ready.
It's almost ready. But don't be judging it too harshly. I'm not a fucking I'm not a fucking web designer.
No.
It's on Wix.
Hell yeah. All right.
C'est la vie, my friend.